No details have ever been released.
It was really, really far, and I didn't know where I was at.
Until now.
You were dropped at a police station by two older men.
That's a lie. You like to lie a lot.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
In 5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
Go, Dr. Phil.
How you doing? All right. Last August, this beautiful teenager made headlines when she vanished into thin air walking home from a friend's house in Missouri. Leighton Stone's mother, Anna, was convinced her daughter had been kidnapped. For 5 endless days, she lived every parent's worst nightmare. Take a look.
A few months ago, Leighton went to visit a friend. She walked out the door, and that started 5 days of hell we went through with not knowing where she was. She didn't have her ID on her. She didn't have her purse on her. She didn't have her medication with her. She had nothing but the clothes on her back. I called the police. A police officer came about 10:30 that night. The next day, I called the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. They took the report. Every time that the car door slammed, I literally thought they found her, and she's hurt. Or she's dead.
Then, as suddenly as she vanished, Leighton was dropped off at a police station by 2 men. She was safe, but no information was released about how or why she disappeared. Not a single detail about what happened to this teenager in those 5 days was ever revealed until today. Because months after Leighton returned home, her mother sent us a desperate message. She wrote, "We need help. She has been missing again." But we called Anna and found out that when her daughter made headlines as a possible victim of abduction, it was hardly the first time she had gone missing.
In the last 8 months, Leighton has run away approximately 20 times.
I'm not running away from my mom or my stepdad or anything. I'm just running. About a year ago, I was diagnosed with bipolar affective disorder. I have like mood swings, but I have hallucinations.
Is it a hide and seek game? Or how is my mom going to find me this time?
The consequences could be someone could kidnap me, rape me, kill me. I could be found in a ditch dead.
When Leighton runs away, she either will jump out the second-story window.
This is the window that I use to leave. I would hold on to this and put my feet on the siding and crawl down slowly or just jump.
The longest she was gone, which was 3 weeks. She was found homeless, living in the downtown area. Leighton developed an STD when she was living on the streets.
I never slept with any strange men that I met on the street. I wasn't a prostitute.
They called me and told me they found her. She did not look like my daughter. She had on rags. Her hair was nasty. Leighton told me that being homeless was a way to experience life.
When I'm on the streets, I feel calm and happy. When I come back, my mom, she's all mad. Doesn't want to talk to me.
As her mother, I'm at my wit's end. It does terrify me to think about what she's going to do next.
Actually, now Leighton's run away more than 21 times because she took off the night before she came here and was brought home by police in handcuffs. We were so concerned that she would take off while here in Los Angeles that we hired a security guard to watch her in her hotel room. Things have gotten so bad that Leighton's mom has resorted to locking her in the house.
To keep Leighton safe, we do have an alarm system. Put a sensor alarm that's connected to our home security system. One time we did have the windows screwed shut, and she finds a simple case knife and will unscrew the window a little bit at a time. We have to deadbolt the office, and you can see where she's pried it open. We've blocked off to where she can't get out this window. We've put just a random bookshelf in front of that window. We have locks on our cell phones. We hide our car keys. She thinks we're keeping her in a prison. We're doing our best to keep her safe.
Well, Anna, I'm glad you're here. And Leighton, I'm really glad you're here. Do you remember the first time you ran away? The very first time?
I think so.
Do you remember the very first time?
Yes, sir, I do.
And when was that?
It was approximately April of this year.
And she was gone for how long?
Just a few hours at that point.
I ran to a friend's house, which was only like, it was right up the street, and I stayed the night there. But they found me within like an hour or two.
Right. And you've run away where you jump out of a second-story window, right?
I jump out of a second-story window. I've jumped out of a fourth-story window onto a deck. I've jumped out of many windows.
Okay, are you worried about getting hurt when you jump out of a second-story window?
Yes. Yeah, I am, but...
Does it scare you?
Yes. That's why I'm very careful.
Yeah. So what triggers you to run away? I mean, you say you don't plan it.
No, I don't plan it.
You just start feeling your skin crawl, you say.
Yeah.
So describe that to me.
It's an impulse, and I can't control it. I mean, like, many times, like, I've been like, you know, it's come along, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do it. And then it's come back, and it's gotten 10 times worse, and then I just have to do it.
Okay, so you're just, like, sitting in your room.
And I can be sleeping, and I can be doing whatever.
And you, let's say you're sleeping, and you just wake up, and you have this powerful urge. And describe that to me. What is it? Help me understand what you feel.
I wake up and I'm sweating and I'm shaking, and I jump up and I start pacing around, and you know, my thoughts are racing. How am I going to get out of my house? Where am I going to go? And I just open a window and I just jump out. I don't take anything with me, and I go wherever I feel like going.
Okay, so this is a physiological thing for you. It isn't, I mean, when you say you wake up, you're actually sweating. You see beads of sweat, you're shaking, and your mind is racing. So you're physically changing at that point. You're different than you are right now. And are you shaking, visibly shaking? Yeah, I'm shaking. Like when you're really hungry, your hands start shaking. Right. And when you're cold, like you're like shaking. That's how I shake. It's okay. And so, I mean, it's shivers. It's like when you have the shivers, okay? And your mind is racing. What is your mind telling you? How are you going to get out? Which way are you going to get out? What are you going to take with you if you're going to take anything with you? But all the racing is about escape. Yeah. It's all about getting out. It's all not about like covering it up to make it seem like, you know, it's not worrying about like how long ago, you know, if she wakes up in like 30 minutes, I'm not worried about when she wakes up. Okay, but it's all about getting out and getting away. It's specific to the escape. Yes. Okay, now you have said you have hallucinations. Yes. All right, tell me about the hallucinations. What do you see? What do you hear? I don't see things and I don't hear things. I don't have schizophrenia. My hallucinations, they are just like it's where like I have a hard time with keeping in touch with reality. Like I'll think something is happening, but it's really not. Have you ever heard anyone talking to you? You ever heard a voice in your head or anything like that? No. Okay, so you've just had what you call hallucinations, exaggerated beliefs about something. Yeah. Okay, all right, gotcha. All right, next, Leighton says she will run again. What is she running from? We're going to talk about that. Plus, you won't believe the drama that erupts when Leighton's mom tries to keep her safe. We'll be right back.
There are days that Leighton is the meanest thing that's ever walked this earth.
I kicked this wall because my mom wouldn't let me go to the bonfire.
Leighton has attacked me probably more than 10 times.
I turned into a little monster. I'll beat the out of my mom. I don't care.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Joe is a liar, a cheater, and an abuser.
He was wrong.
I get the urge to run away. I don't know why. I just do it. I start shaking. I start sweating. I get kind of paranoid. I feel like I'm going to crawl out of my skin, pretty much. It is not an impulse that I can ignore. I have tried to ignore it, but it doesn't go away very easily.
Okay. Have you beat her up?
Yes, I've beat my mom up.
Did you care?
No.
Okay. Do you care about your mom's feelings?
Yeah.
Why?
Because she's my mom.
But if you run away, it creates a lot of pain on her part, right? And she worries about you. Like, you know that, in particular, one time when you were gone for 5 days missing, that you believe she had been abducted, correct?
Yes, I did.
And tell me what you think her experience was when she thought you were abducted.
I don't know. I mean, in shock, upset.
Did you ever think at 2 o'clock in the morning, wherever you were, that your mom was sitting up, staring out the window, wondering if someone was torturing, raping, or killing her daughter?
I did try and call my mom. It's not like I didn't forget about her. I tried to call my mom multiple times.
Did you not know the number?
No, I knew my mom's number. I just couldn't get in contact with her.
Why not?
It just, they wouldn't let me.
Who wouldn't let you?
The person I was with, they wouldn't let me.
So
Either their phone wasn't working or it was dead every time I tried to call it. So it's not like I completely forgot about my mom.
were you wanting to call her for why?
To tell her where I was, to get her to come pick me up.
Were those people keeping you? Was this person keeping you from calling her on purpose?
Mm-mm. Well, not that I know of.
I mean,
I felt like it was always an excuse, but I don't know.
Why not? You ran away from home to wherever you were. Why not run away from wherever you were to home?
Because it was really, really far. And I didn't know where I was at.
You tell me that you run away. But what I want to know is what you're running to. I know that you're running away from home, but what do you think you're running to?
I'm running to the fact that I don't need my mom, that I can take care of myself.
You think you're running to freedom?
I mean, I try, but I make it pretty well by myself. I mean, I was having different experiences. I was taking care of myself. I wasn't really taking care of anybody else. You know, nothing was happening to me.
Well, at one point, you were dropped at a police station by two older men.
That's a lie.
You weren't dropped at a police station?
No, I was dropped off by an older lady.
What do you know about that?
I received a call from a girl, and she was the one that advised that Leighton was in the company of these two older men, and that they would be dropping her off at that police station. That's what I was advised. Whether or not that actually transpired, that I don't know. I wasn't in that town. It was across our state lines.
Well, you like to tell your friends a bunch of lies, and you like to embarrass me because you're a liar. You like to embarrass me a lot.
No,
you like
Leighton,
you like to lie a lot.
Leighton, no, I didn't. What was put on
that's
that
why you put that on there. I didn't get dropped off by two men. I got dropped by a woman, and the police officers told you that.
And I only put on the Find Leighton page what was called into us.
And that's why Dr. Phil just asked me if I got dropped off.
What I was told.
No.
Were you with two men prior
No,
to being
I was
dropped
not with
off?
two men. I was with a woman and a man.
And who was the man?
He was a 23-year-old man who had a 4-year-old daughter.
And was he taking care of you? Was he helping you?
Yeah, he was taking care of me. I never was with two men.
Well, that's what called and said.
Maybe you shouldn't believe everything you hear.
You can stop.
I'm not going to stop. You sit here and lie and embarrass
I'm
me.
not lying, Leighton. I'm telling what was told
Yeah,
to
you don't.
me.
You don't believe. I mean, you didn't even listen to the police.
Were you found at one point living on the streets? Tell me the appeal of that.
If I want to be independent, that's what I'm running.
You're saying your mother is a liar. Did you lie about your mother abusing you to the hospital?
No, they looked at the DSS reports, and one of my siblings kept saying that I was getting abused and everything, and I kept telling them that I wasn't being abused. And they kept saying, oh, you're being abused, you're being abused. Where are all these scars coming from? Why do you have all these scars?
So you didn't tell...
I never told them that I was being abused.
That you were being abused. You didn't tell them.
No, I said that I got into fights with my mom, and me and my mom would hit each other, but I never said that my mom abused me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I've got a social service report here in front of me that in item 5 says Leighton also discussed abuse towards her by her mom. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you say you didn't say that. Social services says she did say that.
Yeah, I'm the one that gave you guys that.
So, and maybe you don't remember saying that. I don't know.
Say that.
Well, they say you did. They did extensive investigations about that and found absolutely no basis to sustain those allegations whatsoever. And now, were you picked up at one point in a car with a boy? Did you take your parents' car at one point?
Yeah.
And were you found in a really bad part of town?
Yeah.
Living in that car?
I wasn't living in the car.
Were you in the car?
Yes, I was in the car.
Were you found at one point living on the streets a week before they found you in the car?
This was a
So I have a
couple
police report that says on October 16th you were found on the streets, and you were like really dirty, and
it was only like, this was like a couple
they found you on the
days.
streets on the 20th. Do you consider that to be safe?
No.
Why go there instead of somewhere else?
I was staying with someone in that part of town, but not that, just a couple of blocks away.
So you're leaving your house and going off in the car and being found just on the street, dirty, in dirty clothes, and no ID, purse, money, anything. What have you achieved at that point?
Nothing.
So I said, what are you running to? What if you got out of the house, you jump out of a 2-story window, whatever, and so you're running away from there. Saying, what are you running to? You're running to living dirty on the street? Tell me the appeal of that. What's in that for you?
That's not what I am running to. I'm not running to be homeless. I don't want to be homeless.
What are you running to?
I'm running to living by myself. I want to be independent. That's what I'm running to. That's what I want to do. I don't want to live with my mom.
Okay, but you don't have a plan for that independence, right?
I mean, I personally don't.
I'm sorry?
I don't, but I mean, I can figure it out.
Well, you don't have money. You leave. You say you just leave the clothes on your back. You don't have any clothes. You don't have any money. You don't have sometimes even your purse or your ID. You don't have any wherewithal to sustain yourself. You're just on the street. They just find you on the street. So you have no plan for independence. You're just running away from her to no plan. Mm-hmm. And that's not working for you, right? You're getting found every time and brought back. and you've now run away over 20 times. So you're not very good at it, right? You're not very good at escaping.
I was gone for a pretty long time at one point. So I'd say that was my best one.
Well, who fed you? who fed
I fed
you?
myself. I mean, I could take it.
Where'd you get money? Where'd you get food?
I got money. I worked.
What did you do?
I cleaned motels.
You cleaned motels?
Yeah, I had a job.
Did you give them your ID? Do you have a social security number?
My name is Jane Doe.
I'm sorry?
I filled it out, and they didn't even do a background check. It was one of those shabby hotels.
And so how much did they pay you?
Like $6 an hour.
So you cleaned the rooms and got your $6 and...
I didn't get $6, just $6.
$6 an hour.
Yeah.
For $6 an hour, I hope you cleaned really slow.
I would clean like 5 or 6 rooms.
Yeah. Well, for $6 an hour,
You don't know how dirty those rooms were.
Yeah, I think I do.
Those rooms were...
Okay, let's take a break. Layton's mother is deathly afraid that her daughter is going to die on the streets. But Layton says, look, she says she's safe out there when she's on the run. You're going to find out who she says protects her. When we come back, it just might shock you.
When I'm on the streets, it's all about drugs. I made friends, but all they did was help me do drugs. I had this friend. We took care of each other. He was a heroin addict.
Closed captioning provided...
House and I wouldn't let her. Layton stormed into her room. I caught her swallowing a bunch of pills. Every time I would give Layton her medication, she was hiding them and saving them. Layton overdosed by taking 50 pills. We called 911, the ambulance came. I don't think Layton really wanted to die. I think she wanted attention, and she was mad at me because I would not let her go out.
Layton's behavior is frightening enough when she's inside her own home, but according to her mom, Layton is even in more danger when she's on the streets. But Layton says she meets friends who protect her. She told us about them a little bit.
When I'm on the streets, you try and go get some money, and then you go get drugs. It's all about drugs. I made friends, but all they did was help me do drugs. They did, like, meth in front of me, like cocaine. I just stuck to Xanax and OCs and pot. I had this friend. We took care of each other. He was a heroin addict. I wasn't scared. Everyone looked after me because I was the youngest of all of them. I always carried a knife and my pepper spray, and no one was going to mess with me. I was never scared for my life, and I knew nothing was going to happen to me.
What's your reaction to that?
She obviously has a twisted sense of reality.
So she's being taken care of by a heroin addict. They're doing meth and cocaine, but she's got her pepper spray and her knife. So she's good to go.
Yeah.
What's your reaction to that as her mother?
I love you, but if you keep that attitude, you're going to be dead. Because that knife and that pepper spray is not going to stop a bullet.
When you're homeless, you don't have guns. They can't afford it.
Yeah, they can afford heroin?
Thank you for saying that I'm an attention seeker. Thank you.
Is that offensive to your sensibilities?
Yes, that is very offensive. Because you don't know what goes on in my brain. You don't know what goes on in my body.
Yeah, but when you do the vanishing acts, Layton, and
that didn't have anything to do with it.
It's like, I mean, it's so sad that your
ran.
school even says they call them your excursions. How long is Layton going to go on this excursion? Again, I hope you're not an attention seeker. I really don't, and that's why we're here.
Yeah. You just said that I only did that I didn't want to die. I just want to do it for attention. Well, thank you.
I hope you didn't want to die.
Are you saying that you in fact, are suicidal?
This has been stated for like 2-3 years.
This what?
This has been stated for like 2 or 3 years.
Well, no, I'm asking you now. Are you?
I'm not suicidal now, but Lord have mercy on my soul.
What do you think that you're mentally healthy, or do you think that you?
I am
are mentally
stable
ill?
enough to. I'm. There has to be some kind of God up there, because if I am able to deal with this woman, then there's a lot. Because the world is on my shoulders having to deal with this kind of stuff.
Okay, what is it about this woman that you find so burdensome? You have
She
to
makes
be
me live like
some
I'm
old woman.
like I'm 10, like I'm a little kid.
I see.
I mean, my best friend's my little sister. I watch TV with my sister.
Okay. And
I'm 10 years old again.
what could your mother do to make that home acceptable to you?
I don't know.
You're telling me two different things, and they're very inconsistent. You're telling me that sometimes you just wake up out of a dead sleep, your skin is crawling, you're physiologically having total body tremors, you're sweating, your mind is racing, saying, get out, get out, get out, get out. It's totally involuntary, it's totally physiological, and you have to get away. And then you say, no, it's just her. She is impossible, she is a burden. I'm trying to get away from her.
Yeah, when I'm trying to do my best, it's still, when I'm being good, staying home, taking my medicine, doing my chores, doing my schoolwork, not doing the attitude thing, not hitting anyone, not cussing, not doing any of that stuff. Doing what she expects me to be doing. There's still no,
And
there's nothing.
This girl is in serious, serious danger right now. You can get snatched, raped, drugged, sold.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Joe is a liar, a cheater, and an abuser.
He was wrong in the past,
He hasn't put his hands on you in 3 years.
but now
You've started abusing him. You've thrown TV trays, shot glasses.
I threw my water in his face, punching on his arm.
who's the victim?
He turns his back on me. He ignores me.
I gotta tell you, somebody starts beating on me, the conversation kind of dries up.
That's tomorrow.
You've been diagnosed as bipolar, correct? But you don't like to take it.
I mean, no.
You say it makes you not want to run away, but yet you feel kind of like a zombie.
And if I don't take it, then it makes me just jump out windows.
All right,
Makes
so
me Spider-Man.
if you don't take it and you keep jumping out of windows, do you think that you are at risk for something bad happening to you on the street?
Yeah. I know that something's going to happen if I keep doing it. I mean, even though I say, I can carry stuff around with me, it doesn't matter. There's people bigger than me. People that can just pull me by my hair and drag me to an alley and just cut my head off. They wouldn't care.
Let me tell you straight up, so in case somewhere along the line somebody has never told you this, you are a prize on the street. You are young, and you are attractive, and you are a prize on the street. And make no mistake, you can get snatched, you can get raped, you can get drugged, you can get sold. The dangers on the street for you are unbelievable. They are indescribable to you. And the fact that you say, oh, I've got some pepper spray and a knife, that just gives them something to use against you when they decide that it's time to take you out of the game. You are so at risk. I think it is astoundingly against the odds that you have not been raped, abducted, and sold into the human trafficking system already, and I wouldn't give you 90 days on the street before that does happen. And I'm telling you the absolute truth here. Now, she tells you you don't know because you haven't been homeless. Well, let me tell you something. I have, and I do know what it's been, and I've been homeless in Kansas City where she has been on the street, and I'm telling you, this girl is in serious danger right now, and you need to do whatever it takes to keep her safe. And this is not a popularity contest. It doesn't make a damn whether she likes you, doesn't like you, cusses you, yells at you, whatever she does. That's fine. Your job as her mother is to keep her safe. And she is too young and too naive to see around corners, but you're not. And you know what the danger is out there. And you have to stand in the gap and do whatever it takes to get her whatever help she needs. She has told you straight up she is going to run again. She is going to run again. And she says, I don't like my medication because I don't want to run when I'm on it, but it makes me feel like a zombie. That is a legitimate complaint on her part. These psychotropic medications need to be used as biochemical replacement therapies, not chemical straitjackets for young people that become inconvenient.
The medication that she is on currently, she was just prescribed that about 3 weeks ago. Well, it was a trial medication to see if it would adjust to her.
Yeah, well,
and as in regards to knowing that she's at risk, I do know that. When she was missing for 3 weeks, the National Center for Missing Children actually put her on the trafficking list of high priority.
Because she sees things in a very different way. Is there anything that will stop Layton from running? We're going to talk about that when we come back. The holidays should be a time of hope and happiness, but for family...
You will see me on the news.
Yeah, that's going to happen. Do you feel like running right now?
No.
I mean, I don't mean like right this minute. Well, maybe you do feel like right this minute, but I mean, do you feel like, do you feel this building? Can you feel it building from a day or two ahead, or does it just come up?
I can, I feel a slight change.
And when that comes, when it does hit, you're the first one to say, you have no choice. You have to run. I mean, you pace back and forth. You have to go. You're like a caged animal, right? You have to go. Even though you don't know where you're going, you have to go somewhere besides there.
Yes.
Okay. And so you know that's going to come again. And when it does, you know you're going to go. That's why you say, you're going to see me on the news. You know, my fear is we're going to see her on the news in a whole other context. So, look, let's just cut to it. Here's exactly what I think is going on here. I think we're all products of our learning history. And I think that Layton has had things in her life, as have you, that can certainly be triggers for a lot of the things that are going on in her life right now. She's had emotional trauma and emotional stress in her life. There's been conflict in school. There's been tragedy and loss in family. There have been things that have gone on that people respond to in different ways. She's been diagnosed as bipolar, and I don't know if that's right or not, but certainly could be, and those things can certainly be triggered by stress and trauma and things of that nature. But we also know that there's a lot of brain involvement in that sort of thing. Changes, actual physical changes in the brain, which can make some of these things involuntary for her. That just comes on to her, and so therefore it has to be it has to be treated and dealt with. So here's what we know for sure. We know that whatever labels you put on this, and I'm not big on labels, and whatever labels, you want to call it bipolar, you want to call it oppositional defiant disorder, you want to call it what, it doesn't, put it, label X. What we know is she's being forthcoming. She's saying, I know my pattern, I know this is going to build, and I know I'm going to run. I know it. I've done it over 20 times before. I know I'm going to do it again. Okay? And you know that that means she's running into danger again. It's your job to stop that. And she's saying, I can't keep from it. So you have to keep her from it. It's just that simple. She also says, medication takes that urge away from me, but it also zones me out and I feel like a zombie. Legitimate complaint. Legitimate complaint. But there are ways to deal with that. This is something that is just not one size fits all. She deserves to have things dialed in for her in a way that really, really are customized to make her feel the way she deserves to feel. And despite getting in her own way, she says, yeah, I need help here. This isn't working for me. We've agreed she's not a very good runaway. She keeps getting caught and brought back, which is fortunate. And it is just by the grace of God that she has not been abducted, killed, or sold into human trafficking. It's just, let me tell you, can you imagine the value that she would have in that world, as attractive as she is? Danger, 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 flashing red signs.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
This is Dr. Matthew Polachek here. Hi. Say hi to Matt. Matt Polachek is the director of the Center for Discovery. I asked him to come here because I want him to sit down with you guys, because I think what we need to do here for this child, and you are a child, is to work very, very closely with the PNP Center in Dallas, Texas, to find out what's really going on with her. I absolutely, I am very anti-pill. I'm sorry. I've testified before Congress about the abuse of psychotropic drugs with children. I just am very anti that, and there are indications for using them. But I think if you're going to do that, you need to do your homework, and you need to know who you're treating. You need to know everything about them, and you need to do it very, very carefully. And she deserves nothing less than that. And so what I want to do is offer to you guys to walk out of here right now, sit down with Matt, and talk about coming up with a protocol to get her truly evaluated biochemically, hormonally, neurologically, every way possible, and design a treatment protocol that gives her a chance to be who she truly is. She doesn't deserve to be a zombie and in a chemical straitjacket. You don't deserve to have a daughter that's running headlong into danger. And one of the things that Matt and his group do is they're very good about not treating target patients, but treating entire families and making sure that there's an integrated approach here so that everybody is involved to make this work right. And so I want to give you guys a chance to sit down and discuss this.
And you don't know how to appreciate it. You don't know we appreciate it.
I really, this is not something where you punish this child. This is a situation where you help her. I mean, you really help her.
And I hate feeling like I do punish her by keeping her in the house.
Well,
but I'm scared I'm never going to see her again if she walks out the door.
But I'm telling you, a lot of this may be involuntary with her. I'm not trying to make excuses. You got a potty mouth and a quick temper, and we need to work on all of that. But first things first, we need to find out who you are and where you are. We need to get you some answers. So I'm going to put you guys together with Dr. Polachek down here. He is really, really great at this, and y'all are going to sit down and talk about all this, okay? Fair enough? Fair enough? All right, I want to thank all of my guests for being here today, and a special thanks to Dr. Matt Polachek and the Center for Discovery. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. You guys are talking backstage. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much. Thanks. Good to see you again. Thanks so much. Thanks, guys.